Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome. I'm pretty sure this isn't capturing my audio again, so that's fucking fantastic. How is everybody doing? Actually, no, I think it's all right. But I think we're all right. So, how is everybody doing this week? Bit of a cooler week this week, bit more relaxed and chilled out. Joining me tonight, we have got BMG, the Bold Man Gamer. We have got TheGinna Gaming, and we have also got SX2 Gaming, our buddy Scott. Hello, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you being here.
Evening.
So, what have you guys been up to this week? What games have you been playing? Scott, you go first, mate.
Cool. I actually just completed As Dusk Falls yesterday evening. I don't know if any of you gents have had a chance to play that yourself.
I haven't looked at it yet. I keep meaning to.
No.
But I've been a bit busy with Smite again. So.
Never
ends.
Yeah.
It never ends.
How about yourself, Gina, BMG? Have either of you checked it out yet?
No, I want to play with the missus, but she's selfishly been going out places and not spending the night in with me, and now she's ill. So as soon as she's
bastard.
better, I'm gonna play it.
Rude, isn't it?
Are you on about playing the game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I've been playing that. I actually, So it's one of the surprises of the year. To be perfectly honest, I really enjoyed it a lot more than I expected. So that, and I've just started Stray last night as well. I'm about like 20 minutes in, so I wouldn't have considered myself to have played it just yet. But that's next on the agenda.
Nice. Jenna, what have you been playing this week? Anything exciting?
I did the Halo event. I know I did a bit of it when we were on stream last week. Well, I finished it. Did all my weeklies, and then typical Halo fashion, 2 days later they went, "Oh, we're changing the weekly reward to be Clippy." And we're from the Word document. Him in like a Halo hat. It looks so cool, and it's an attachment for your gun. However, I'd already done all the weekly events, and they decided to reset it 2 days later, so you only get 5 days, and just discard it. So I feel shafted again. I jumped into Jet Washer again, or Power Washer.
Power Wash Simulator.
Power Washer. Great game. I'm slightly addicted.
It's proper addictive, isn't it?
Yeah, I tried a bit of Fortnite, see what that's about. It's a good game there. Played some Roblox on stream. Show people your lovely new T-shirt, which I know you're very happy about.
I'm absolutely fucking livid. Absolutely livid.
It's amazing. We were playing this one game where it starts off as this skinny guy, and the more you exercise, the bigger you get, and your T-shirt your face across the back of the T-shirt, which is getting more and more ripped and warped and distorted. And that's fantastic.
Of all the things you could have used, you fucking used my profile pic like an absolute arsehole.
It looks good.
Absolute arsehole.
Fimbo re-downloaded Roblox just to get it, I believe. So I'll have to check if he's bought it. Big fan of yours, obviously, and I've jumped back into Trail Makers. I don't know if any of you ever played that game.
Played it originally when it first came out. I haven't played it like any time recently.
It's one of those
I don't
games.
think I've heard of that.
It's a weird game. It's a bit like Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, where you have to get like orbs and stuff, and you have to build certain machines to be capable of getting them. And then they have like different racing modes and flight modes. You got to build everything yourself. So the aerodynamics, the center of gravity. If nothing works and your car keeps flipping over, it's your fault because you built a shit car. Basically, it's all on you.
Yeah.
It's slightly addictive, and then it also has a single-player campaign where you're trying to salvage resources to rebuild your spaceship and get off the planet using stuff that you unlock the more you play. So I've like now built an amphibious vehicle that has this huge claw on the front that I've made the pistons programmable to actually grab stuff and can drag it around the map.
Nice.
Makes it a lot easier. But yeah, it's really good game. I don't think many people played it, but
yeah, I played it. I played it back in the day. I haven't played it in a long time though. It's I struggle with physics games because I just I'm thick as shit when it comes to doing physics and stuff. So I just not very good at them. What about you, BMG? What have you been playing?
Still stuck on the Destiny train.
Oh no!
Best game ever. Just recommend everyone play it. Love a bit of Destiny. Currently going through the Solstice event, so it's taken up a fair bit of my time. But I also started As Dusk Falls. just done the first chapter. It's
Nice.
It's not really grabbing me. I don't, you know, I don't feel that connection to any of the characters. It doesn't. And to be honest, I'm not even bothered what happens to anyone. I'm just picking whatever option as the little thing drags across the screen slowly. But I don't. I'm going to do it. I'm going to play all the way through it, and hopefully, I'm going to complete it. But it isn't grabbing me at all. Not the way like Detroit Become Human did. I think they did it a lot better.
It's funny you should say that, because the way me and my missus rate how good a horror movie is determined by whether we care whether or not the characters live or die. So if we don't care if any of them live, we know it's a shit movie.
Yeah,
that's how we determine it.
It's like the Dark Pictures anthology. I've enjoyed them. I'm halfway through. Is it Devil's Ashes? I think it is something like that. I'm partway through that, and then because I like the narrative-based choice games, but as Dusk Falls, I don't know if it's just because of the setting, the graphics isn't. I'm not really leaning to, but
it didn't really. They showed it off at E3, didn't they? It didn't really grab me then. I don't really like narrative-driven, story-based games. Like they because I don't like honestly, I don't like reading in games. If I struggle with big walls of text.
Yeah.
So that was the one thing that kind of put me off playing it. I mean, I will get around to playing it at some point, but there's just other shit I want to play at the moment.
I suppose the better thing with it than what the others do is you are making decisions constantly. You are constantly having to do stuff. There's not much in between where you're not doing anything, whereas the others there's like you're walking around and then you're clicking stuff. This is all just literally stuff's happening, then you're making choices and stuff like that. And I might get more into it as it goes in. I hope so, because I did look forward to trying it. It just at the moment it hasn't grabbed me. I'm hoping. I just don't like any of the characters so far. They're just nothing's really grabbing me. But other than that, I started a bit of Returnal, which can honestly go and fuck itself, because I died 5 times in the space of 20 minutes. So for the moment, that's getting left behind for the moment. But yeah. But Destiny mainly. That's where I'm at.
That's cool. Fair enough. I don't know what I've been playing this week, to be fair. I've been playing Power Wash Simulator, although that game fucking pissed me off and I haven't been back to it since. I was on the, I don't know if you guys have made it that far yet, but I was on the train station level. It's a big fucking level. It took me about 2.5 hours to completely clean. And I got to the end of it. I got the job complete, like, message you get when you complete a level, and it didn't bring up the tab, and I couldn't do nothing. It completely locked me out of the game. I couldn't go into the tab, I couldn't go into the store, so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to hard restart the game. And then when I came back, all my progress had gone. So the 2.5 hours that I spent washing the train station were gone now, and I just didn't want to go back and play it again.
I played up to the garden level, which I think is only like the second or third level, and it took me about 45 minutes or something to clear that. But like those times when I was looking, it was like, oh, there's a little bit left under this fucking rock in the pond.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I wish
this
I could
game's not for me. Bollocks to that.
I wish I could tell you that the levels get quicker, but it doesn't. They're all they just get longer. If anything, you get better power. What they call fucking, power wash machines. Yeah. That's the thing. But it doesn't even get faster. Like, it still takes you 2 hours, 3 hours to clear a fucking level, especially the treehouse and stuff.
I can understand like the appeal when you're like, there's just a big fucking wall of dirt and then you clean that. But when I think one of them, what was it? I think the third one or something was like a motorbike. Yeah. And then, but like, you've got to get like all the spindles from different angles and stuff. And I was like, nah. There's no enjoyment in that, because it's like, it's at 99% and I don't know where this little slither of dirt is. Yeah. Somewhere. So yeah, that quickly got uninstalled.
But other than that, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm still playing the Dawn of Ragnarok DLC for that. That's really good. Smite. I'm still playing Smite. I started playing Ranked because I thought, I'm sick of like the trolls in casual. Maybe if I play Ranked it'd be better, but it's not. It's just as bad. Only it takes you like twice as long to get into a game, which sucks. So I've gone back to casual again. What else have I been playing? I started playing Hot Wheels DLC today for Forza Horizon 5. God, fucking that opening race, like when you first get to the islands, it proper amps you up, doesn't it? I remember finishing that level and just thinking, fuck me, my adrenaline's like through the roof. I just want more of this. So I'll be playing that again later.
That thing in the middle of your screen that tells you whether you're upside down or not. Like you're getting a fight to play, it was fucking me off. It took me ages.
Yeah, I don't get why it's there. It doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, you can turn it off in the options.
Oh, can you? Yeah, I'm going to be doing
that.
that.
While to find it, and I couldn't.
It didn't bother me. I assumed it was maybe something to do with like some sort of like motion sickness thing, Ginna, to help you sort of your mind align. I don't think the DLC for 3 had that, did it?
No,
not that I remember.
No.
At least I wonder if they had feedback from 3 where people were getting sick when they were doing.
To be fair though,
motion sick when they were going around the track.
I remember playing 3, but it didn't give me that holy shit, this is fast adrenaline kind of feel that the new one has. Like the new one does feel very much like, fuck me, this is going so fast. Like it's hard to keep up with it.
We spoke about this on our show at the weekend, and one of the things I put it down to, mate, is if I remember in 3, and it obviously was a while back now, I remember falling off the fucking track all the time.
Yeah.
Like every race you would fall off the track. Because the track didn't have edges in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
So what that meant is you had to be a little bit careful and cautious with your racing, which is not what you do when what you want to do when you're playing Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
You're trying to go 200-300 mile an hour on a track. So you kind of had to like hold back, otherwise you were flying off. But this one, because it's got the edges, you can kind of just absolutely gun for it. And obviously, if you hit the side, you hit the side. You slow down a bit, but it's not going to completely wreck your race like it did in 3.
I like the touches of different like track areas as well. So you got like an icy track, and then you got like the magnet track. I think that's a really nice little touch. So you're not always driving on the same, the same plastic surface.
I did see,
the log flume one's cool as well.
I did see Billamia. I don't know if you follow him on Twitter. He went so fast going up a bit of track that when he hit the magnet bit, it wasn't powerful enough to keep his car on the track, and he just kind of went over the crest and just went off into the distance and nearly hit a hot air balloon. So yeah, it is possible to break the magnetic track if you're going fast enough.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to it. I only started playing it like an hour before the podcast, but yeah, I'm already really enjoying that. Apparently they've just fixed 2 of the unattainable achievements as well. So if you've only got 2 achievements left to do, it's been fixed in the latest update. But that's about it really for me. It's a bit of a slow week whilst I wait for new games and shit to come out. But got fucking Saints Row next month. Can't wait. So excited for that game. But yeah, that's about it.
The playthroughs for that.
Yeah.
I was watching Skiller because I normally how he rates games kind of aligns with how I like. The games he says are pretty good. I normally find I enjoy.
Yeah.
He didn't seem that impressed with it.
Right.
Which is a bit of a shame.
I think it's right up my street because like open worlds are my favourite games anyway, and I loved Saints Row the 3rd and 4th.
Yeah.
I didn't really get into the first 2. I always thought they were trying to be GTA too much, but the 3rd and 4th were great. So I'm really excited to get back to it. I'm actually really liking the new change of direction. The new area, new characters and stuff. I'm looking forward to getting back into it. So yeah, that pretty much covers everything we've been playing this week. So let's get into topics, shall we, lads? If you want to.
Aye, let's go.
Bear with me, I need to get fucking Discord up because I can't remember what we were going to talk about. I believe it's something Assassin's Creed, isn't it?
Well, something Assassin's Creed.
So the biggest news out of the Ubisoft camp this week is that the unannounced game that has been delayed is rumored to be Assassin's Creed Rift, which is the Basim focused, was going to be DLC for Valhalla, but they've turned it into a whole standalone game. Apparently it's being pushed further into 2023. So BMG, you must be disappointed about this one. I know you were excited to get back into it.
Yeah, I was hoping it was going to be something that would be out this year, but if they're going to take more time, take more time. I'm glad they're doing it as a standalone game instead of DLC. Because Basim's an interesting character. No spoilers or anything for Valhalla, but it'd be quite interesting to see, where he started, how he got to where he is, and
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's because it's going to be less exploration, more stealth
I've
style
got
of the game.
I've got a theory on what I think is going to happen with Basim. You know, I have a theory because you know that you know how he gets his body in the new one. I got a funny feeling that something's going to happen in Rift, which is going to allow Desmond to re-enter the body of Basim.
It'd be cool if it did, because for the modern day stuff, Desmond was the only thing that was really that interesting.
Yeah.
He was, as he honed more of his skills, he was more of the interesting character in the modern day stuff. All the other stuff was it was crap, and they could have got rid of that.
Honestly, I think the Assassin's Creed took a massive turn for the worst when they decided to kill him off in the third game, because it made no sense. It just made absolutely no sense, because up until that point, you're battling the Templars in modern day. You're building Desmond up to be almost like the ultimate assassin. He's learning the moves through the bleeding effect on the Animus, and then they just go ahead and fucking kill him off in 3. It was like, well, all that, like the last 4 games, it's been for nothing.
Well, they did kill him for a reason, but it was, I think they expected more people to have a stronger connection with him as a character before they did it, but everyone widely hated the modern day stuff, and I think everyone dismissed it. But he died for a reason, because you have these this race from the past get essentially at odds with each other. One wants them to do one thing, wants them to do the other, and the only way he could stop it was sacrifice himself. So had there been a more connection with the character and more people was on board with the modern day stuff, I think it would have had more of an impact. But it didn't go down that way.
Have you completed Valhalla?
I've done the main story. I haven't done any DLC.
Do you know what happens? Do you know what happens with Layla and stuff right at the end?
Yeah.
That's why I think Basim's going to become Desmond. I think Desmond will re-enter Basim's body because he's the messenger, isn't he?
Yeah, they'd have to. Well, to be honest, with Assassin's Creed, it's kind of the story's all over the shot. You could kind of make it up as you go along, and they could literally just introduce him and say, "Oh, he's resurrected. The Apple of Eden resurrected him, and it's a new power no one knew it added, and he's back." He
needs to come back.
Yeah, but it's going to be a bit. They'd have to really try and find a way to work it in, because that's the problem with the story.
They've had a few opportunities though, haven't they? Like the Shroud of Turin was meant to have been able to bring him back to life, and then they kind of. I think the problem is they got so many different studios trying to get their own shit in that the story's become a bit incoherent, and I think that's the issue that they have with Assassin's Creed games today, because like they were building up Layla to be the next, protagonist.
I don't. Oh my god. Really? Really have to put that there?
Tonight we're joined by Sonic.
Oh.
But we've currently got 10 people watching. So good evening and welcome to Assassin's Creed chat here on the XBL Party Podcast. We've just been joined by Sonic. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. I mean, I kind of knew we weren't going to get into Assassin's Creed this year anyway, because they said at the last presser that the future of Assassin's Creed was going to be revealed in September, and there's no way they're going to reveal the next one in September then have it come out in November. It's just too fucking soon. Do you know what I mean? So
well, it's still coming out. It's still coming out this physical year, because I think Jeff Grubb said it was aimed at spring 2023, which still falls in this physical year. So.
Yeah,
I can see it. You got the later next year is absolutely going to be packed with games. I think. Yeah, I can see it being a March game personally. It'd be nice for March.
I think it'd be later than that. I think it'd be June, July that we will get it.
Yeah, I think it's more far along than we think. I think it's. Oh, thank God, it's gone. Yeah, I think it's way further along than we think, because it is more of a tight, probably linear game, so it doesn't need as much development time as the open world ones do. I wish they would just go back to the old formula. I don't like RPGs.
I can't stand these Witcher clones.
No,
They're not Assassin's Creed.
Absolutely hate it. No. There's nothing really Assassin's Creed about it anymore, apart from in Valhalla, they're in the hut in your village. You know, they've just diverted so far away from it. Personally, I'd love to do something again like Assassin's Creed Rogue, where you're playing from the Templar side of stuff.
Yeah.
Ex-assassin, going to the Templar side of stuff. I'd love for them to do something like that, do something a bit different to what this main game is going to be.
Yeah, I say this all the time on the show. Like, I don't like these Witcher clones because that's what they are now. Like, The Witcher 3 came out, and then suddenly Assassin's Creed was now like The Witcher, just without magic. And I don't like that the Brotherhood, you know, the Assassin's Brotherhood has pretty much become like a afterthought. And I've said this before on the show too, but the telling thing for me, like in Valhalla, they've added these mastery challenges. And it became really apparent just how far removed it is from Assassin's Creed that I found it really fucking difficult to get the gold medals on the assassin levels playing as an assassin. It's really fucking hard now. And if you're just going in and smashing stuff, it's super easy, but that's not what Assassin's Creed's about. Do you know what I mean? Like there's literally no need to have that stealth element to the game anymore, because you literally just run in with Thor's hammer and just absolutely wreck shit. I don't stealth around anymore. There's no need. And I'd like to see you go back to that. And fingers crossed.
I'm hoping because I'm hoping we're going to get a bit of a reveal from Infinity at the September 15th, I think it is, the event, the Ubisoft event. I'm hoping, we're going to get some more information about it, but I actually hope they do a bit of a soft reboot for it. I know it's going to be a live service game and what have you, but I'm actually hoping we're going to have a bit of a soft reboot, get a bit back more to roots, restructure the story, redo it, retell it.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would really care, because the story's all over the place with all the games.
But just to touch on what Muppet said, he says he thinks Assassin's Creed should give up and go back to the Winchester and have a pint and wait for it all to blow over. But Valhalla is like their strongest selling game in the franchise, isn't it? It's the most popular, strongest selling game. So there is still love for Assassin's Creed.
There's no reason to change the formula now, though, because people are
there. That's the problem. Like they're not going to go back to the roots now because the newest ones sold so well. And I was really angry when they announced that Assassin's Creed content for Watch Dogs Legion, because that's the closest thing we've had to a true Assassin's Creed game in the last 6 years.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's if they can keep adding DLCs and stuff for you to buy, they're just going to keep doing it, aren't they? And the RPG thing is what everyone wants to play.
I'm fucking dreading Assassin's Creed Infinity.
Oh,
I don't want it. I just don't want it. I like that single player, story driven, narrative, open world game, and I don't like the idea that Assassin's Creed is going to try and become this live service. I mean, just look at Ubisoft's history when it comes to live service games and multiplayer games. They don't have the best track record when it comes to those style of games. I mean, their servers have always been dog shit. So yeah, it's not something that I'm actively looking forward to.
If they could steal some of the things from The Division, how they sort of do things, I think they could actually make a really good go of it. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to a live service game from Assassin's Creed. It's
you and GINA are freaks, though. You seem to like that shit.
I'm gonna. Well, as soon as that's out, I'm gonna sit here with me up playing. I'm gonna love it, love it. Give me more Assassin's Creed.
Scott and GINA, what's your opinion on this Assassin's Creed news? Do you not really care?
I couldn't give a shiny shite, if I'm being perfectly honest, mate. Assassin's Creed isn't for me, and hasn't been for a long time. I'm afraid. So there's literally nothing that I think Ubisoft. To be fair, I could say this about literally any Ubisoft game except for Splinter Cell, which is anything they do, I generally don't really care about. Unfortunately, I think with Assassin's Creed, it just kind of the way it. I guess it went through a period of releasing games very frequently, and then each game just became bigger and more bloated. And with each game that became bigger and more bloated, my interest in the franchise, even when it was not particularly high to begin with, just got lower.
You'll love Valhalla,
yeah. So yeah, it's really not a franchise that I really care about, to be perfectly honest. That's what it is. I care about that little. I'm actually looking forward to Skull and Bones more than anything else at Assassin's Creed.
You're a monster.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess the hope is that maybe the live service model does something. Obviously, it's a change in direction. Maybe if they go for an approach where they have smaller and more condensed experiences within that model, whatever that looks like, that might actually be something that I could be interested in checking out. But obviously, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, it's really difficult for me personally to get excited for anything that Ubisoft do, never mind something in the Assassin's Creed franchise.
That's fair.
I'm afraid. I'm sorry to say, BMG, mate. I'm sorry to say, pal.
To be fair, I'm the same.
Guillemot's doing his best. He's bringing those quality stuff.
Guillemot, I think, is everything that's wrong with Ubisoft. I think Ubisoft would be better if they got rid of Guillemot. I think he's a fucking clown.
I need him to be a main character in Assassin's Creed.
I need him to get fucking fired. That's what I need.
He does. He does need to go. I don't get me wrong. I do agree. Ubisoft needs a whole new direction. I know they keep saying, "Oh, we're for sale, not for sale, but we're open to conversations." He needs to go. He does need to go.
He does.
He does need to go in a different direction. But
again,
the games sell. That's the problem. The games sell.
Yeah.
They make Far Cry over again and again. It's the exact same game. They just
it's not. I like Far Cry.
But it sells. It sells.
Yeah.
It does. It doesn't. I've never played a Far Cry game ever.
But that is ludicrous. Yeah. You need to go back and play Far Cry.
I've played one since the OG Xbox. Yeah. But you're right, BMG, and I think Ubisoft. I think the difficulty that Ubisoft have got is they're in such a position at the moment where they're so risk averse, where sequels and pumping out games within existing franchises, and we're going to touch on The Division, I think, later in the show as well. I don't know if selling would improve that situation. If you remember, the more recent rumors about them being sold was to, I think, some venture capital fund.
They're trying to stop a hostile takeover, aren't they?
I don't see how, if that was to go through, I don't see how that would make them less risk averse, which I think kind of keeps them in the same boat where they'll release things that they know do well, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, etc. And then the projects that maybe are a little bit riskier don't get funded. But then again, the games where they take a little bit of a risk, I think of like Hyperscape, for example. We're going to touch on Roller Champions as well. Christ, it's going to be Ubisoft show, isn't it?
It is tonight, I'm afraid.
They're not that successful, unfortunately for them. And I touched on Skull and Bones earlier, a little bit tongue-in-cheek saying I was excited for that because I'm not. But that game, if you read between the lines, that game would have been canned if it wasn't for the funding that they had received from the Singapore government to help fund that title. So they're in a really weird place, and I think it even came out recently where Eves came out, and I think he said how they were having to be really conscious about expenses at the company, which is not ideal. So yeah, the only thing that's exciting about what Ubisoft doing at the moment is the fact that they did announce that Splinter Cell remake.
I think that Ubisoft are so desperately trying to find their Fortnite. I think that's the issue. I think they don't want to take chances anymore. They want to use the franchises that they do have, and they're going to put them in such a way that they could be even more profitable than what they are. And I think they don't. They're trying desperately to turn their already existing franchises into the next Fortnite, where it's a huge success and everybody's buying shit for it. And
4 games as well, haven't they? There's 4 unannounced projects that they've actually cancelled.
Yeah, 2's been cancelled, 1's been delayed, which is Rift.
Yeah, obviously Avatar got delayed, but I think kind of that's almost like a little bit of a segue onto The Division. Obviously, if you gents still want to chat about Assassin's Creed.
We forgot Ginna. We forgot Jim.
Oh yeah, shit. Sorry, Jim.
No one cares what the GINA thinks. It's not Fortnite or Halo. Don't worry about it.
I'll hold that thought because I'm curious what Jim's thoughts are on Assassin's Creed. I'm hoping I'm not the odd one out here, but I'm not too sure, mate.
Yeah, I used to like Assassin's Creed, like the Ezio trilogy and all that. It were incredible. The modern Assassin's Creed is shit, so I'm with you on that. So yeah, I don't care what they do, unless they go back to 10, 12-hour stories and optional side quests. Then it's not going to pull me back in.
That's
like
fair.
Hearing people go, I've put like 100 odd hours in now. I'm almost at a level to fight a boss. It's like, nah.
Man, 100 hours in one Assassin's Creed game.
I've got 150 hours in Valhalla. Actually, it was 150 hours when I got all the achievements, and I've done 2 DLCs, and I'm on the 3rd DLC, so it's probably close to 200 hours now in Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah,
you are nuts.
But we might as well keep the Ubisoft train rolling. So apparently for Assassin's Creed Infinity, there's been reportedly going to be an Asian setting. I don't know if that fucking tickles your pickle. There's also, Asian.
Oh, okay.
I mean, an alien setting. I might be interested if it goes down the sci-fi alien route.
Yeah, me too.
There's also rumors to be an Aztec setting as well as another setting I can't remember. Jason Schreier pretty much denied those rumors.
Is that Afghan? Is it Afghan?
Oh, Baghdad. No, Baghdad's for Rift.
Yeah.
Rift is meant to be set in Baghdad.
It's funny, the Asian setting thing, because that kind of came... I can't remember if it was rumored before, whether it came after, obviously, the release of Ghost of Tsushima. And
it's a weird one.
Be taking inspiration from that.
People have been crying out for a feudal Japan Assassin's Creed for as long as I can remember, and also a Chinese one. And they never did anything with it, and now they're going to make them as bolt-ons for this abomination that is Infinity. And I think that's really shit.
You just wait. Infinity is going to blow you all out the water, and you're all going to be begging to come back under the wing of Assassin's Creed.
I never left Assassin's Creed. I'm looking forward to Rift. I don't want to see my favourite franchises get turned into live service games. That's where I stand there with it.
The future. That is literally the future of most games.
But that's the thing. It shouldn't be the future. I mean, once you pay $60-$70 for a game, that should be it. There shouldn't be any additional cost. There shouldn't be a fucking.
If they're free to play, then.
But that's shit. Because you end up paying.
It's not the world we're in.
You end up paying more for the fucking cosmetic shits than you ever would have buying a full priced game.
But it's just not the world we're in anymore. We're in a
to go
place where everything's live service and subscriptions, and if it's not, and it's just a one-off sell, it's just going to go and it's just going to get remade repeatedly, like a game that's coming out in September.
I think I just hate gaming. I think that's the problem.
Just on that point, I think what you might want to consider as an Assassin's Creed fan, like for me, I really couldn't give a shit. But Ubisoft are bad at live service games, so it's not like you've got some.
The Division's good. The Division 2's amazing.
Even the Divisions had fucking issues, like major issues with server connections and shit.
You name a live service game or an MMO that has landed day one with no issues and been perfect.
Yeah, but there's.
In fairness, their cosmetics are they're not hitting you with like constant cosmetics now as well.
And don't forget as well that fucking this NFT shit that Ubisoft is determined to force on people is not going to go away. So you've got all that to look forward to for Infinity.
I'm just going to mail in my bank card.
And you don't like NFTs now as well. Oh, you are really in the past.
I'll have everything. I'll have anything they've got to offer.
Call me old-fashioned, but I prefer the days where I wasn't getting fucking robbed blind.
If they could sell me toilet paper with the Assassin's Creed emblem on, I'd have it.
Mate, that exists. There's no chance that doesn't exist. In fact, I'm going to Google it now for you, mate.
If it does, I will order some. I'll order some Assassin's Creed bog roll.
You know what, we're going to keep on this Ubisoft theme. Another topic for tonight, we've got rumour the Division Battle Royale game could be in development. Now, this is bound to make Ginna happy since he's a Battle Royale fanatic at the moment.
What do you mean?
I don't really give a shit about it. I think the worst thing about the Division was the PvP. What do you guys think about a Battle Royale, the Division?
It's because obviously I believe it. It was 2018 when they actually started it, and not long after, a year or so, it was canned, put on the shelf, and then they changed into this Hyperscape, or whatever it is that they've now scrapped. And
Last of the year, didn't it? Hyperscape.
Yeah, it was
awful.
Dog turd, absolute dog turd, and that is dog turd. But it's everything's looking for a battle royale, which is going to be the next big thing. Always trying to compete with Fortnite and stuff like that. And let them have a go at it. Why not? A lot of
I don't know how it works. I don't know how a Division battle royale would work. If you play the Division, you've got
basically
this kind of
PUBG.
This honestly is quite
world.
Yeah, but when you play the Division, you've got all these abilities. The PvP, as you said, mate, was the worst aspect of the Division, and now they're going to spin off a game based on the worst aspect of the game. You know what I mean? Hyperscape. Their current their previous attempts at Battle Royale doesn't instill any confidence. But this kind of touches back on the Assassin's Creed thing, which is right. We've had Division 1, we've had Division 2. No, and this is more against Ubisoft BMG and how they try to wring each and every one of their IPs dry to get every last drop of money out of it. So what we got at the moment, we got Division 1, we got Division 2, we've got Division Heartland, which is a free-to-play game. We've got Division Mobile, which they only spoke about recently, and now we've got a Division Battle Royale. No one's that excited for Division content that they want 3 new Division games.
I don't know.
2 of which are free-to-play live service games.
I fucking love the Division 2. I thought the Division 2 was excellent, but I don't want to see it become a live service game. Fucking Battle Royale, because I love the. I really did like the PvE environments. Like the leveling up, and I love open world games. They're my jam. And I really did like the Division 2. And the Division 1, to be fair, but the worst thing about both of those games was the PvP, because they've never been able to find the balance between, the weapon balancing and the ability balancing. They've never been able to find that balance, and that is crucial when it comes to having a game that's not only PvP but PvE.
Matched by some people, like you could be stood there shooting them in the head, and they would turn around and one-shot you.
Yeah. And there was the infamous ladder in fucking the Division 1 where you could literally just get on top of it and just kill anybody that fucking came into the area, and you just sit up there and just fucking pointless.
The beta for the first one where you could stand in the doorway and block everyone's game.
Oh, I remember that. Before you could get into the safe house, you could just stand in the door. Yeah, I remember that.
Game would start, you didn't do any violence, you had no guns, you were trying to just progress through the street, but you couldn't walk through other people, so people would just stand in the doorway. I would move any further in the game, you were stuck.
I would love to see the Division 2, or a Division 3 even, where they do away with PvP completely, and it becomes a purely PvE experience. So when you go into the Dark Zone, you're fighting other people. I mean, that are not players, that you're just doing raids and shit. So say you got to go into the Dark Zone and raid medical supplies out of a fucking hospital. And that could be the objective. You get to the Dark Zone border, you team up with other people, you go in and you just mince these like NPCs and shit. I'd much rather see that than seeing this forced multiplayer that they seem to bolt onto everything. I mean, even Assassin's Creed had a fucking multiplayer at one point. Like
that was fun.
It wasn't. It was awful.
Unity.
It was awful.
I enjoyed it. That was
but that was
awesome.
different. No. Unity's was different. Unity's was a co-op. It wasn't multiplayer. Like,
no, they had, was it not Unity that had the one where you had somebody who were assassins and you had to
kill each other?
Place to find them. Yeah. That was like the PvP side of it.
They killed that in Black Flag, but that was proof that not every fucking game needs a multiplayer, and it didn't. You don't need to have a multiplayer Assassin's Creed.
See, this is where you'd like Destiny PvE. Perfect for you.
Fucking hate Destiny.
You can stay away from the PvP stuff. Do all PvE. You'll love it.
Slayer saying
I'll send you a clan invite.
Nah, wouldn't bother. I'll wipe my ass with your clan invite.
You don't know what you're missing. It's the
The
future.
thing is, Red, is on the Dark Zone, I actually do think the Dark Zone had potential if they could get the balance in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Because it introduces such a higher level of risk in that game.
Yeah.
And I think they even really struggled with some of the balancing in the PvE content as well. I really disliked a lot of the raids that they did, the harder content. And I think part of the problem was it was the realistic setting always felt weird to me because you had gear and you would put like 1,500 rounds into a boss and 5 grenades and rocket launchers or whatever, and he was just a bulk in a fucking bulletproof vest and he still got 80% of his health. I always found that a little bizarre with the Division, but I think the Dark Zone really had potential because of like that element of risk, almost kind of like, you know, Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves has kind of got that. You know, you don't say that again, Jenna.
That's a game that needs a PvE mode, and everyone else.
I disagree.
Setting on fire and
I disagree personally. I think the game would be much worse off if it didn't have forced PvE. PvP. Because for someone who wants to play PvP, that basically means every person you run into just wants to have PvE, and I think you lose a lot of the experience of grouping up with random people to take on events or bosses or whatever it may be. And I think the Division could maybe learn something from that, maybe, because everything about the Division's Dark Zone was about, and this maybe touches on what you were talking about, Redders. Everything in the Dark Zone was about fighting different groups. There was no cooperation element. There was, if you ran into another team in the Division Dark Zone, you know you were going to kill them or they were going to kill you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where in Sea of Thieves, there's that element of trying to you know, find each other out. Are you an arsehole or are you friendly?
I automatically assume that any player I come across online now is an arsehole. That's how I look at it.
I
There's
guess
no friends in online gaming anymore.
it does introduce some like really cool emergent gameplay that the Division never could have because everything was purely PvP. And based on what you were saying there, you know, imagine if you were in the Dark Zone and you teamed up with another, like you had that sort of face off. You teamed up with someone and that allowed you to take on one of the more difficult areas or bosses within the Dark Zone rather than just being, right, we're going to try and kill each other. You're going to run away and then use an ability that heals you and then the fight's going to last 14 days or something, which was always, you know, difficult. So, I do think it has potential, but, you know, they're 2 games in now. They've got 3 in development. You know, are they ever going to hit that? I doubt it. Personally, we'll have to wait and see. But
I'd like to see them they keep the looting shit to PvE. You don't need to have that in PvP. Like, there's no reason why they can't have the Dark Zone just be like traditional multiplayer, where you turn up, you roll up with a squad of 6 people. It's 6v6. This is the objective. You got to kill each other. You got to defend this point for so long. Like that, just make it like a traditional PvP mode. You don't need to have this. Oh yeah, the area is filled with fucking enemies. You can go rogue and kill other players. That's the shit that always wound me up, because you'd be fucking casually minding your own business, trying to do your own thing, and the next thing you know, you're getting fucking squatted up on by a bunch of randos, and it just made it not fun. It wasn't a good experience. It had all the potential to be a good experience, but it just wasn't a good experience.
I don't think a pure PvP experience will be good for the Division, though, because of, like I said, the bullet spongy element of the game, where the fights last so long and the way the abilities were balanced, where it was easy to just fuck off and run away. I don't think the PvP was particularly enjoyable for that reason. The reason it was enjoyable in parts was just because of like the intensity and that feeling of, right, are we going to get out here without getting ganked? If you gank, then that's it, you're knackered. But it was kind of that that intensity that it brought. So I don't really know where they can go with it without fundamentally changing the game. And like I say, if they made it more like PUBG, if it was more realistic in a sense, where, you know, you had a limited health where a couple of bullets would take you down, then I think that could work. But then that's kind of not the Division. It's kind of a different game entirely, almost, isn't it, at that point?
But I'd happily welcome another one, another Division game. Yeah, it just needs a lot of fine tuning. I think the Division does. It's just I don't want to see it become a battle royale mode. Battle royale's been fucking done to death. Keep Warzone because everybody loves Warzone. Keep Fortnite because that's fucking successful. But stop trying to make all these next big battle royales because it's just.
I will try any battle royale that's released without fail. I don't care. If it's a
You're
battle
like
royale, I'm
TheGinna.
going to at least try it.
Yeah.
I love a battle royale.
I fucking hate them. Maybe it's because I suck at them. I think that's what it is.
You get good.
I'm a run and gunner. I don't like tactics. I like just to fucking shoot shit until it dies. And
There's a lot of battle royales that can do that, you know.
yeah.
I'm waiting on the Barbie Battle Royale to come out with a film next year. That's where I'm at.
That Gosling skin.
So, another little bit of Ubisoft news out of this week. Roller Champions servers are rumoured to be closed after Season 3. However, they have since come out and said that this isn't true and they're going to continue to support the game. But honestly, that game has been so horrendously handled. I don't see the point. I mean, it never got promoted. It gets very little support. And it's a game that never really stood much of a chance. But they've come out since that came out and they've said that they're not ditching the game. They're going to focus on the issues and then we'll see what happens. But have you guys played the roller championships, whatever it's called? Have you got to go at it yet?
I've actually done the roller thing. I went to Insomnia at the NEC arena. Oh, when did COVID start? Was that 2 years ago? Was it 3 years ago now? The summer before COVID.
2019, that would have been then.
2019. We went to Insomnia event, big gaming event.
I want to go this year.
No, I was gonna go. We're gonna go this year, but it's a lot of the regulations they brought in and concerns, and obviously COVID is on the rise again and stuff. It's kind of don't want to risk it.
I think we need to just get on with it now. I think
it's hard for it's not as easy for me to do that because I've got someone in my household that's extremely vulnerable because of the immune system. So I've got to be careful in that sense.
Got you.
But when I went to the last Insomnia, they had the Ubisoft experience. You know, when they was doing the tour in the different countries.
Yeah.
They came to Birmingham. I went to that. I do actually have a T-shirt somewhere lying around that I got from there.
Does it say I got suckered into buying an additional T-shirt by Ubisoft?
Yeah. No, I got it free for going in, and they actually had set up the roller champions. They had this giant roller disco thing going round, and you had to actually put on skates and that and go around it and all that, and then have a quick play of the game. And it was fun for 5 minutes, and it was like, nah, this is just gonna die somewhere out the way. You know, it's just gonna be gone.
I watched the trailers of it. I was actually really impressed by the trailers. It looked like a lot of fun. I've just fucking broke Discord.
It was awful. Playing the game was awful, and all I had, there was a Ubisoft rep there just saying, you know, this is just a beta, you know, it's going to be better than this. And it's like, Jesus Christ, yeah, okay. But no, it was fun skating around the actual thing in real life, putting skates on, going round.
Yeah.
And then briefly playing the game after about 5 minutes. I could have happily just put a bit of paint on the wall and just watch it dry. It would have been more exciting. That's it. But that was the last I actually heard of it for a long time. But
I didn't
that's
know
the only
when,
time I actually seen them advertised.
I didn't know when it got.
An event.
I didn't even know it got released. Even I'd never heard anything about it other than the trailer I saw. I don't even know if it was in E3. I saw a trailer. I thought, oh, this looks really good, and I never heard nothing more about it until they announced. Yeah.
Yeah, they did announce it. I played the beta when that came out.
We'll probably see Sam Fisher in that before we see him in a fucking brand new Splinter Cell game.
Yeah, I played the beta. I thought it was shit. It needed a lot of work done, and then it disappeared. And then one day it was just out. They didn't announce it was coming out. They didn't advertise it. They just dropped it. Like
Weird,
that
isn't it?
worked for Apex Legends because the gameplay was so good at the time. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" And they had all the big streamers playing it the day before it came out and what have you. This they just dropped it. Didn't ask anyone to play it. Didn't seem to tell anyone, even their own employees. It just came out.
Say you don't believe in your game without saying you don't believe in your game.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently they are going to continue to support it. But it sounds like not many people care either way. So that pretty much wraps up that.
I don't know if you guys saw. Just very quickly on that, mate. I thought it was funny when Ubisoft were talking about how the games were performing. They did say that Roller Champions was tracking ahead of Hyperscape, which I don't think was probably the most confidence boosting thing for the game. I mean, I would fucking hope so, considering how badly Hyperscape bombed. I did play it though on release, but it was kind of one of those things where I played a few games. I was like, yeah, okay, this is good, and then I haven't played it.
I was
since.
I was smashing Apex Legends when Hyperscape came out, and me and my mate decided to give it a go because we were like really into battle royals at that point. Fuck me, it was awful. It was absolutely awful. And I never went back to it. I only played like 2 games. But I think if you're going to put a game out like that, it needs to be able to compete with Apex Legends.
How does a game based on rollerblading or roller skating?
No, I mean like Hyperscape. Hyperscape. If you're going to put out a game like
Hyperscape, Oh, fuck, that game was just dreadful.
It needs to be able to compete with Apex Legends. Because, that game still pulls 100%. Crazy numbers now. Got another new character coming out in the next few weeks. Which should have been a topic for tonight, but I didn't include it.
I have dropped that since Halo has come out, to be perfectly honest. Give me that Halo Battle Royale.
I suck at it.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, I would play that.
You're another GINA, aren't you? Jesus Christ.
If they did a Halo Battle Royale, I think I would play that over the multiplayer that they have currently. I really don't enjoy it.
The multiplayer is solid, I think.
It's good. It was good when I first played it, but I got bored so fast, and then everyone was just dominating us left, right, and centre. So it's kind of like I fell off it. But I'd enjoy Battle Royale. I wait for co-op. That's what I want. Halo co-op, proper co-op, not the beta co-op.
That's a lack of content issue. That's not a multiplayer being bad. Like if you're getting bored with a game like Halo, it's because there's not enough maps, there's not enough different modes to keep you entertained. That's a serious lack of content. Constantly. Yeah, you will do, because like people have been playing Halo since fucking Halo 1. I was getting absolutely trounced on it, but I found it really enjoyable. But yeah, just got bored of the maps, bored of the modes, and stopped playing it. GINA still plays it religiously, I think.
I play a bit, not as much as I did when it came out, but I like a lot of the new modes. It's a shame attrition, which they had a game, an event for. Me and my mates played the shit out of that, like just constantly on it, and it was amazing. Like it's the one where you get 1 life as a team each, but if you're down, it drops an orb and you can revive it. They loved it. We were playing it all the time, and then they got it off the playlist, and then that's when people were complaining about playlists appearing and disappearing. They're like, oh, any future playlists like Fiesta will be permanent. And they've stuck loads of playlists on, but never brought that one back. And that was the one that caused the whole uproar about playlists disappearing. But yeah, overall, I think it's a lot better than state than it was. There's actual game modes other than Slayer and Capture the Flag.
Yeah.
But no, it's really good.
And
I think
I fucking hate.
It's a tough game though. A lot of people have got really fucking good on it now because they're just.
I've always fucking hated Halo, but I really enjoyed the multiplayer of Infinite. I thought it was really solid because I grew up playing arena shooters and shit. Quake and fucking Unreal Tournament. And, I used to love those, but I've always hated Halo, but I really enjoyed Infinite.
They nailed the gameplay. They brought it up to the modern day. Halo 4 and 5, like I said before, they tried to make it more modern with jetpacks and enhanced movement, and it didn't quite click. A lot of the older Halo fans were, well, this doesn't feel like Halo, it's a different game, whereas this one is the perfect hybrid. It feels like a Halo game, but it's quicker.
Yeah.
Like Doom did when it came back, they just sped it up a bit. Doom's fantastic as well. That is a great shooter.
Doom is amazing. I don't think Doom gets enough credit. I mean, it's easily one of the most...
one of the best shooters out there.
Yeah, it's absolutely solid, that game is. If you haven't played it, Doom Eternal is just fucking fantastic. And
Doom Eternal Battle Royale made by Ubisoft. That's what we need.
I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
You'll be offending a few people with that, mate.
So, in other
Yes, Sam
news,
Fisher.
yeah, Sam Fisher's going to appear in fucking Just Dance before we get him in a new Splinter Cell game, like a brand new Splinter Cell game.
It's coming back.
You're never getting a new Splinter Cell game.
It's coming, BMG. It's coming with Spies versus Mercs, the greatest multiplayer mode ever made as well.
It needs to come.
I did enjoy that. I did enjoy the Spies versus Mercs. That was actually fun. That was fun. That's it. They should just make that instead of a Splinter Cell game. Just make a Spies versus Mercs battle royale game. That'll do. Something like that.
Just have faith that your IP will sell and just make a new fucking Splinter Cell game. People have been crying. This is what pisses me off about these big companies. People have been fucking crying out for like certain games for years. You know, Need for Speed Underground 2, remake that. No, they remake fucking Hot Pursuit, the one that nobody fucking wanted. People have been crying out for a new Skate game, Skate 4. They fucking announced a free-to-play Skate that's going to nickel and dime you every step of the way. Like they always seem to ignore what people actually want. People have been wanting a new Splinter Cell for fucking ages. It's never come. Sam Fisher's literally popping up in every fucking game other than a new Splinter Cell game.
He was in a mobile game, man. He was in a mobile game. Remember that Ubisoft mobile game that was like the different characters? The thing is, Red, is it's a spreadsheet. Once the spreadsheet says the numbers are green enough, right, then it gets greenlit. You know, people can shout as loud as they want on Twitter and stuff, but you know, if the spreadsheet doesn't say yay, unfortunately, it's unlikely to get made. And that's kind of going back to our original point about, you know, Ubisoft being really risk adverse and not wanting to have any sort of creative risk. I wouldn't think Splinter Cell was a risk at all personally, but I think to them it probably is, because it's a dormant franchise now, unfortunately, and it's not easily monetized. At least the single player aspect, you know, you can't monetize that realistically. If they had the Spies versus Merc mode, I think that would be difficult to monetize as well. So I just don't think the spreadsheet added up, unfortunately, for them. And
it's a damn
it's
shame.
a live service.
They can't monetize it. That's why it's not there.
They are scared to make a new Splinter Cell game.
I'm coming round, Red, as you're right. Fuck live
They
service.
could make it a live service game. You've got the Echelon, where everyone does training, whatever. You go out on missions with a team. That'd be brilliant. That's it. Splinter Cell, the live service game. Perfect.
Slayer says not because of money, but because of their fear of failure. But everything they put out at the moment is a fucking failure. Like,
ooh! Oh, for fuck's sake!
What you get? That's what you get for running your mouth.
Hang on. 2 can play that game, Flower.
Poor Sonic. I think you haven't seen the new movie then, BNG.
No, I won't
It's
watch
amazing, absolutely amazing.
It's like an Avengers movie.
I felt like a fucking 90s kid watching that movie. It was great.
I believe as well, talking about Sonic, is it London? What's the show that's coming to London in September? Can't think of the name of it. It's got
I don't know. Got posted.
EGX.
EGX. There's going to be Sonic Frontiers playable.
Yeah, because everyone is going to be fucking queuing up to play that shit.
Yeah. You're going to see Luke Steele's going to be the only person studying that.
That's another game that doesn't know what it wants to be.
Hey, if it's as good as the movie, I'm in. Movie's fantastic.
The movie is great. The second one's fucking unreal.
Honestly, I took my daughter to watching the 4DX, and it was an experience. I said by the end of the movie, where it just starts going up and up and up and ramping up, it was like an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, this isn't a kids movie. This has gone to another level.
I'll tell you what, I really liked Idris Elba as Knuckles. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I thought he was fantastic.
Good actor.
Yeah. I thought the voice was perfect for what he was meant to be. What other topics have we got? No more Sonic. Modern Warfare 2 is the most advanced Call of Duty ever made, claims Activision. Shock. Activision praising their own game. Who would have thought it?
I'd love
Why
it
not?
to come out one day and go, the sequel's not quite as big and bold as the last one.
That's it. You've got to be careful. They don't always praise it. They did say the last one was going to be a bit crap. And not to get your hopes up. They did say that. So now this one is even better. It's most advanced ever.
I have faith in this one, to be fair.
Well, it's the one. It's how I can't remember the last time it wasn't a yearly product, because this is the one because there's not going to be a game in 2023.
This one shouldn't have been coming out yet, though, should it? This is one.
They had a reshuffle, didn't they, a few years back?
Because it used to be every 3 years, didn't they? That one team would put out a game. I suppose it is 3 years, because Modern Warfare, the original was 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah, but didn't they have a change around?
They have had a change around, though, haven't they? Because they didn't believe in is it Raven software.
Yeah.
Is it Raven
but
software?
Yeah, you've got. Yeah, because that's now just rolled in as a support studio, isn't it, for it? But yeah, you're going to have this one this year coming out October, November, whenever they announced it. And yeah, they're saying it's the most advanced. They're probably putting more into this because this game's got to last for 2 years. And obviously they're working on Warzone 2 alongside it, whether it drops the same day and date with it. I doubt it, because you're going to want to push out the main game, campaign, multiplayer, and then get another hit before the year's out, or next year for the new Battle Royale.
Infinity War was... Infinity. I don't know why I keep saying Infinity War, because I think it's because Infinity Ward, you fucking make it. The last Modern Warfare was great. Really enjoyed it. I don't like the reuse of the old characters, because we all know how that story ended. I feel like they could have made some new characters. So I've got a lot of hope for this one. Yeah, I got a lot of hope for this one. I did, because the multiplayer on the Modern Warfare was really fucking solid. Played that a lot with V2 Timmy.
Modern Warfare 2 on the 360 was the last Call of Duty game that I played. Like a lot of. I kind of fell off it after that. It's really lost us, unfortunately.
Black Ops 2
was
the last COD I 10th prestiged in. But I haven't played a modern Call of Duty as much since the Modern Warfare. Sorry, I just realised I cut you off, Scott. You carry on, mate. Fucking hell.
No, that's okay, mate. To be fair, I mean, yeah, I'm just looking there. Modern Warfare 2, the original was 2009. Fuck, that was a long time ago. It's the last one I've really played. It's again, not to go back and beat that drum again, but it's kind of like Assassin's Creed. You know, they're just ringing the franchise for everything, and I'd find it difficult to get excited.
That's fair.
For that game, for any Call of Duty game, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I know people who
I used to
now.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, I know people who used to proper love it, but now Warzone's out. They didn't pick up Vanguard. They're not going to pick up Modern Warfare 2 because they're playing Warzone or Warzone 2 when that comes out later this year. So
yeah, I used to buy Call of Duty because I loved the multiplayer, and then I stopped liking the multiplayer, and I used to buy it for the single player, and now I've stopped buying it for both because they both suck. So
yeah, I mean, I'll probably play the single player when it comes to Game Pass when the Activision deal goes through. I'll probably play the single player just to try them out, but you know, I'm not excited enough for a Call of Duty campaign that I'm going to pay full whack for it. You know,
won't be long till they come into Game Pass, though. Come on. I reckon we will see Modern Warfare 2 come into Game Pass. It might not be this year, it might be next year, but I think it will happen.
Yeah.
It'll be as soon as that deal goes through. I bet you any money the day that deal's announced that it's gone through, they'll say, here's Modern Warfare 2 2022.
They're saying that deal.
I don't think they can.
They're saying that deal can be done within the next few months, aren't they? They're saying the FTC could approve it within the next few months.
But yeah, that's the American side, isn't it? You've got everyone else to go.
British government's starting to challenge it now as well.
Well, the EU's the hardest one, isn't it? The EU's one of the hardest ones to get things passed. I think it'll go through. It's, again, you know, it's not like it's a small company trying to put a small deal through. It's this multi-trillion company that, you know, lives and breathes this sort of thing. They wouldn't pursue something if they didn't think they weren't going to get it through.
Exactly. And this is the thing that people keep forgetting. Microsoft is one of the biggest companies in the world. They have some of the best lawyers that money can pay for. they would have fucking known that the deal would have gone through back when they first approached it. So everybody sit there saying, "Oh, it might not go through. It might not go through." It will go through. Microsoft are not going to fucking.
Yeah, and looking how Activision Blizzard's going with everything they've got going on, I think that's also an advantage to Microsoft because it's a company that can show they can change the direction, fix things, work along things, improve things, make things better for developers and studios. I think it all goes in their favour. If all this controversy wasn't going on, I don't think you'd see the company up for sale, and because obviously things would be good. But I think with the way things are going, it's going to go through. I'm no expert in any stretch of imagination. I'm the kind of guy who sits there and asks questions to a magic 8-ball to get an answer. But,
Scott, Scott, what do you want to see from this Microsoft Activision deal?
Diablo.
Fair.
I would just want to see Diablo and Game Pass, and
that's already been confirmed, though, isn't it? Wasn't Diablo 4 already been confirmed?
Nah, it hasn't. Nah, they included it in the in the showcase, but it was one of the games that wasn't confirmed to come to Game Pass. But I suspect the deal will close before Diablo's released, and then at that point they'll be able to confirm it comes to Game Pass.
Diablo 4 does look really fucking special, to be fair. That was the one of the games that really blew me away at E3 was Diablo 4.
Yeah, it was probably the highlight of the showcase, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, so it's not confirmed, but it's inevitable. I think it's just a case of timing. And I know the Activision deal's expected to close between now and next June. I think it's the current fiscal year for Microsoft, which ends in June next year. And they've only confirmed Diablo for release next year. So I'm pretty
fingers crossed
confident in saying that Diablo won't come out until after the deal's closed, and then at that point it'll come to Game Pass. So, but if you look at the rest of the stuff that Activision are doing, I mean, there's not an awful lot really to get excited about. Diablo's the main one, Call of Duty, but just to touch on the point that you made, BMG, it's unlikely that Modern Warfare 2 will come to Game Pass, at least in the near future, just because of the marketing deal that Call of Duty has with PlayStation. We know from Capcom leaks a while back, that there are clauses in these deals that actually prevent the games from going into those types of services. So it's unlikely that Modern Warfare 2 will go into Game Pass, even if the deal does close. Even if it closes this year before Modern Warfare 2 comes out, And then what else have they got? Obviously, they've got the stuff in the PC space, but Overwatch is already confirmed. It's coming out later this year. It's free to play. That was always going to be multi-platform. They've got World of Warcraft, which, if you're primarily a console player, you don't play MMOs, you're not going to be too interested in that. So the excitement really comes from the revival of other franchises and what they do with the other studios.
I'm hoping that Xbox pull off some of these studios that are working on Call of Duty and set them to work on IPs that should be getting revived, like Prototype and maybe a new Crash game, new Spyro game. I want to see like some older Activision titles getting remade. Or even just like
get toys for
games.
Bottle of Call of Duty and get them making the games that they're good at making. Bring back things like StarCraft. So they've got such a good library of like essentially dormant franchises now. Bring back Tony Hawk. Bring back Guitar Hero.
Am I right in saying
so
that
many games?
Every studio at Activision is working on Call of Duty in some. Well,
that was the thing. If you remember, they call it the Modern Warfare 2 announcement trailer. Like the closing bit where it has like the platforms and stuff, like the logo. Underneath the logo, there was like 10 different studios listed there. All of them
working on it.
It's great. So that's the hope. But we'll have to wait and see. So kind of more immediate, definitely Diablo. I can't wait for Diablo 4. I really can't. I even played Diablo Immortal. I was that looking forward to another Diablo. And then it's a case of what they do with dormant IPs that simply wouldn't get greenlit under the current leadership at that company.
I like to see the same. I think it's time. Time we see some of those old franchises come back.
Get Toys for Bob doing Scalebound. Let's bring that back.
I don't really want to see Scalebound after that dickhead was what he was saying about white people and stuff.
Stubb says Xbox doesn't have a good reputation for bringing back old IP. They've just announced Fable and Perfect Dark, haven't they?
Yeah, it's true. I think there's
they're on it now. They never used to be.
To be fair,
they
there's
didn't have
loads
the
of
studios to do it though. That was the issue. They didn't have anyone to make the bloody games.
There's loads of shit they could do with rare IPs, but they've got them working on fucking Sea of Thieves for the last 7 years.
Well, I think
Rev said they don't want to. Rev said they don't want to work on old IPs. You know, they've been quite vocal about that, which is why the likes of Battletoads was, you know, shipped out to the Lala Studios. I think it was that made that.
I'd love a new Viva Pinata.
Yeah,
I would love to see that franchise come back. I bloody love those games.
Yeah. I think the problem now is it's like they're acquiring all these companies and studios that come with all these IPs. It's just adding more and more IPs that studios can't work on because they're working on other games. I think it's about time they start kind of license stuff out and do what Disney are doing. Who wants this? Pitch us an idea. If it's good enough, take it. I think, you know, that would be better than it just sat doing nothing, because all the studios they've got and all these studios they're taking on, they've all got that amount of work they're working on, because obviously Phil Spencer's seen the roadmap, he knows what everyone's doing, he's seen the timeline of things, and there are all these IPs that nobody's touching because no one can get round to doing them. Get these third parties, license them out, get people to pitch ideas, get indie developers. This would be brilliant to grab some indie developers as pitches an idea for this game. We'll help fund part towards it, things like that, make it for Game Pass.
There's no excuses now, you know? There's absolutely no excuses. They've got more studios than fucking ever before. They got more money than fucking ever before. There's no reason why we can't see
these studios have just got too much. They're all working on multiple projects. It's literally, it doesn't matter how many studios they've got, they're taking them on that are already in the middle of a game, come towards making a game, but there's that much IP anyway. I'd just license it out. Why shoulder it on to someone else that you want to do, that are already working on something? Do what Disney doing. They're making a shitload of money off licensing these IPs out. Why not do the same?
Have you guys seen the new Miss Marvel that came out?
No, not yet.
Fucking what a waste! What an absolute waste! I thought it was really good, over in 6 episodes, but there's 6 really quick episodes as well. I finished watching it yesterday.
I know the main actor for Miss Marvel, that is her first ever acting gig.
Yeah, first ever gig.
I was reading that's her first too, and apparently she's done really, really well, but it was rushed. But again, it's just something I've not got around to watching yet. Yeah,
no, I really enjoyed it, but I thought 6 episodes was not enough. I mean, Moon Knight that had 6 episodes, but that felt it felt right, you know. Like the episodes weren't too long. Told a fucking really great story. Miss Marvel was very much this episode into this episode into this episode, and before you know it was all over. But I really enjoyed it. I wonder if we'll get a second season of that.
I suppose it's trying to find that balance, because obviously they're doing all these limited series now for these different franchises and different stories in these universes. It's trying to find a balance where people are happy. You got Obi-Wan, people thought it was boring as hell until the last 2 episodes. I enjoyed it all because we know what Star Wars is like, but most people thought, it just took too long to get into things. Then they did something that was a bit quicker paced, and then they said, no, you got into stuff too quickly. I suppose it's just trying to find that balance. If they're going to do a season 2, they're probably going to do season 2 anyway.
They're definitely going down the quantity over quality over quality route, I think, because I've thought this phase of Marvel's been absolutely shit. There's been 1 or 2 standouts, like Moon Knight.
Yeah, I don't like the future of where they're going currently with Marvel headed for the next couple of phases. It really doesn't interest me. But I remember being around for phase 1, and I think, and I don't know if it's just me, there might be other people, I'm kind of in that. I like the original actors. They played all these original films, and it's like getting to these new. I know obviously they've all had enough to move on, but getting to all this new stuff with the new actors, and it's just like it just really doesn't interest me.
Yeah, and the fucking the characters are not that great to begin with. I mean, all the best characters are kind of gone. they've moved on now. Thor's still going strong, but even this movie, Love and Thunder, it was a good movie. Wasn't amazing.
I've not watched it yet. No spoilers. Not watched it yet.
No, I haven't watched it either.
It wasn't amazing, but it was decent enough. Christian Bale was fucking fantastic in it.
I started watching The Eternals the other night.
Oh god.
Oh, sorry.
Oof.
I do. I'm sorry.
I think I watched like 40 minutes of it, and then I turned it off because the missus was trying to sleep. I was watching it in bed. But I was actually enjoying that opening 40 minutes because it was actually quite slow paced in dialogue. It didn't get straight into just an overloaded CGI fest. Like there was some CGI, but there was actual people speaking and slow pace and walking around. I think that's been missing from Marvel movies for a long time. It's literally credit rolls, bang. This is the bad guy. Quick, let's fight. And it's just an hour and a half of fighting shit for the sake of fighting shit.
Yeah, Miss Marvel's a bit like that. It's very much a okay. So she doesn't have powers. Oh, she has powers. Oh, these are the bad guys. Okay, now we killed the bad guys. Okay, the series is over. Like before you know it, it's all done and dusted. It had really weird pacing issues. I would have liked to have, but they've given Daredevil fucking 18 episodes.
That I am looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
He's probably the best Daredevil character ever.
We've only had 2.
I know. But the series, I think I was the only one in the cinema when I went to watch the Spider-Man film and scream like a girl.
He is fantastic.
I
really hope they. We've heard rumours about it for a while, but I really hope they bring back John Bethany for Frank Castle. The Punisher.
I hope they do another series of that. Yeah,
that was fucking awesome. That series, especially the first series.
I'd love him to do a film. I think they should do a film instead of a series. I think they could do an Origins film for him, like a reboot that goes into the series. I think that would be better. Maybe.
I was saying to Ginna, I think it might have even been on one of our Moon Knight reviews, but there's I don't really get uncomfortable watching gore. Gore doesn't really faze me like in the slightest. But there was a scene at the end of The Punisher season 1. Fuck me, man! It made me really cringe. I found it really difficult to watch. Anything where there's glass involved, I find it really difficult to stomach. And I would love to see them bring that back. Of course, bring that back to Marvel. So I'm just reading chat. What's kicking off in chat? Fuck me. What's going on? You turn your back for 2 seconds.
Stubbs is cancelling Perfect Dark.
Why?
Agreed. I actually agree. To be honest, I've never really been a fan of the what was the game called?
GoldenEye.
I'm not really a fan of that franchise anyway, Perfect Dark. It's not something I've really ever been interested in. And to be honest, when the initiative announced that is what they were doing, I was so disappointed. They were made it sound like they were doing something new, amazing, mixing it up with brand new. And then as soon as they showed Perfect Dark, I thought, well, that was a letdown.
I think, bring it back. Fucking do something new with it. I think the biggest problem with Perfect Dark at the moment is just the lack of information. Like, we've only had we only had that one brief trailer, and there's been nothing else since. I think, and everybody's been saying, oh, it's in development hell, and yeah, maybe it is, but they need to address that. And I think that would quell a lot of, I think that would, calm a lot of these.
You can't show that game, though, until they've got genuine gameplay to show. They can't just come out with another CG trailer or something. They've got to show gameplay of it.
That's why
it's not coming in the next 12 months.
That's why I thought this E3 was shit, because there's been these rumours of development hell for a lot of their IPs, and this was their perfect opportunity to come out and say, look, we are working on it, it's fine, here's a little glimpse of something. They did none of that. It was very much silence and nothing got said, and there seems to be a lot of people coming and going from is it the I can't remember the name of the fucking studio who's making Perfect Dark.
The Initiative.
I kept thinking the Coalition, but that's Gears, isn't it? Yeah, I thought they would have had there's been people coming and going from the Initiative a lot.
Just run its course. They need to kill off Gears now.
Yeah, Gears does need to die. To be fair,
agreed.
I'm
joking, by the way. I love the new Gears game.
I want to see Gears die. I want to see Halo die.
No.
And just
going forever as far as I'm concerned. Those 2 and 4s are the holy trinity. Keep them going. We'll have
Put
some
them on
new
the back
stuff
burner for 5 to 6 years, and then announce a new one, a complete reboot. Like these games
I
are
was on the back
fucking.
burner for 6 years. That's fucking ages for Infinite to come out.
This is a soft reboot for the whole series. They can't put it off again. This was a reboot. They said this is a coming on point for people who've never played the game. Like,
Stop saying
10 years. 10 years.
Stop saying kill Smite in chat. I agree. Fucking kill it. It's a horrible
we need
game
a
now.
Superman game.
No, we fucking don't.
Oh, no.
No, we don't.
Superhero
Bollocks to that.
Speaking of what,
Superman's the worst superhero of every superhero. Superman, come on.
Stubbs, if I thought I
It's
could,
boring.
I'd go and unplug the Smite servers myself. The game's absolute trash. It's just something quick and easy to play when I've got a spare 20 minutes.
I think if you're a comic book fan, right, and you looked at what Marvel announced, and it's like, oh, they're doing a lot of the cool storylines now. They're bringing in some of the characters. This looks amazing. And then you saw what DC announced at Comic-Con. Fuck me. If you were a DC fan, just go check in on your friends, like, because that was depressing. The bit where The Rock stood up and they said, oh, could you beat Superman? And he said, oh, well, it depends who they cast as Superman. Like,
yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's like, oh, well, and once again, they've got the perfect Superman.
And they're not
They have
using him.
the best Superman you ever need. They've made about 20 Batman movies with a different person playing Batman every time. And they just won't greenlight another Superman movie.
Man of Steel was fucking amazing. Man of Steel
He's
was amazing.
boring as shit.
You need to watch
he
the
is
new
boring.
Superman series. It's on BBC iPlayer. Season 1 and Season
We have
2
this-
just dropped. It is
We have this argument every time we're on the show now, BMG.
amazing. Superman is the best superhero in the world.
But he's
Batman.
boring as fuck.
Ew, I dress as a bat. I only come out at night. Ew, all the criminals, they still commit crime at night. Nobody only comes out at night. Come out through the day, he's not there. Simple. Or you could be like the new Batman. I want to go see the Penguin, so I'll go knock on the door of his nightclub. Wait there, Batman, while I go and ask the boss if he wants to see you. Yeah, no worries.
But Superman's fucking boring.
Superman's awesome.
He's boring.
He's boring as shit, man.
The only thing that could beat Superman is Kryptonite and fellow Kryptons. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't see what again.
What do you mean you don't see what the problem is?
What's wrong? What?
Alright, what's the next movie going to be? What's going to happen in the next movie? Explain what happens in the Man of Steel 2 if that made. Oh, look, Superman's living a normal life. Oh, look, they got a baby. Oh, here comes evil Lex Luthor with his fucking kryptonite dildo. That's Superman fucking taken care of. And then
He fight Shazam or something.
And then you'll get a fucking scene of Superman lifting a big meteor off the earth with the kryptonite dildo hanging out of his ass. Oh, look, Superman's overcome the power of Krypton. Like, it's crap.
I'm Batman. I throw boomerangs.
The Batarangs, get it right.
Batarangs.
I do like the Batman movie very much.
That'd be a pretty shit gadget, wouldn't it? If he throws a Batarang and he just comes back and hits him in the fucking eye.
Yeah, but he's got to spend time putting his bloody makeup on. You see it in the film. He sat there putting his makeup on.
The eyeliner was fucking stupid. I don't get why they went that direction.
If you watch the one with Michael Keaton, he has the eyeliner on, and when she tells him to take his mask off, the camera cuts away and comes back.
There's no eyeliner.
When he takes the mask off, he has no eyeliner or no black around his eyes.
I like George Clooney's bat nipples. Like, why does a bat suit need bat nipples?
Yeah.
You can milk him.
No. Ah.
Oh shit, we need topics. Hang on, let me find one.
Do you mean we're covering Comic-Con?
Oh yeah, covering Comic-Con. Like, talk about Comic-Con for a bit.
We're talking about milking Batman.
Yeah, the conversation's gone off the rails.
It's gone way off.
He does every week.
Redemption from here, like, so.
We've reached that point in the show where it's degraded. Like, it's all downhill from here.
I think if you could segue from milk and Batman to a genuine topic, then you deserve credit, mate.
I want that to be the fucking name of the next movie, Milking Batman.
Jesus Christ. But when you were talking, mentioned Rocket League as a quick game to play, did anyone play the mobile game?
No.
Nah.
Because I'm not imagining it, didn't they? Actually made a mobile game for Rocket League, Swipe League or Rocket Swipe or something.
Yeah.
Did no one ever
It's
play
like a
that?
2D version. Nah. Well, I just play normal Rocket League. If I wanted to play Rocket League.
But that's getting out your controller, turning your computer on, putting your headset on. It's mobile.
Nah.
Easier.
Just putting on the Rocket League, mate.
Yeah, it's Rocket League's not. I don't understand cars with football. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I've got far too many hours into Rocket League, man. I wouldn't even want to guess.
My brother-in-law is an absolute freak when it comes to Rocket League. That's literally the only fucking game he's played since it come out. He plays it every night religiously. I don't get it.
Milking Batman coming to Pornhub.
That's the new movie, Milking Batman.
Oh man, do you think if we actually Google it, there'll actually be something on there about Milking Batman?
Probably, yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
make sure you go incognito if you're doing that, mate.
Yeah, another topic. So 2K Games has decided to delist a lot of WWE games on Steam. They've become quite renowned for this, haven't they? I think it's from like 2019 onwards, isn't it? I can't remember exactly.
They were friendly as well.
I don't get why they do it. Like, why do they have to delist shit? I suppose it's licensing, isn't it? Licensing and
That's probably a license thing with music and shit like that, is it? Same with the Forza games and
wrestlers that aren't in the fucking company anymore and shit.
Like Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
He's gone.
I'll tell you what, I was surprised. I was surprised to see him go like now.
Really?
But yeah, because I always thought he would die there.
After all that controversy, you thought he was going to be able to stay on.
I honestly thought he would die there, but the fact that he's been paying women wrestlers money to suck him off, only to go ahead and fire them when they refused his sexual advances, I think that's horrendous. But everybody fucking knew he was doing it.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Everybody knew he was doing it. It's not the first time Vince's sexcapades have come into question. And he's stuck around for like all the other fucking scandals. So.
Apparently,
he's still the majority shareholder, though, isn't he? So he's retired or left as CEO, but he still
owns the majority of the company.
The whole company. So
I do think it's actually a good idea that say Triple H has taken over full creative.
I don't know if it is.
He did a lot.
Yeah, but he's just had a fucking heart attack, hasn't he? He's just had a massive heart attack.
He's never going to wrestle again. But for what he did for NXT, I didn't really watch much of it. It was very restricted because of Vince.
Yeah.
But what he did and what he had, he made that brand
creative,
recognised, and did absolutely extremely well. Where they were pulling the wrestlers onto the main shows and stuff. But now he has full control. I think you're going to see and do things that, because they're going to have to compete with AEW.
Creative needs to do something.
Either, but they're going to have to do something. Because at the end of the day, you can only, if you're on the top of the mountain and you're doing nothing different than what anyone else is doing, you're not going to stay up there forever.
I was enjoying AEW for a good few years, but then every single match, these wrestlers are taking the most insane bumps, and you just think, how long can you really keep going on like that? Because, I mean, I used to wrestle a few years ago, and that ring fucking hurts. Like, there's no two ways about it. Everybody says wrestling's fake, and to a part it is. Like, to a degree it is. But when you land on that ring, you're hitting wood and steel, basically. And you see some of the bumps on AEW, and you just think, there's no way in hell you're going to be able to keep up that kind of performance for very long. And I mean, I suppose WWE are good in that regard to protect their wrestlers, because they do ban like certain moves and shit. But
a lot of the good ones, though.
Yeah, a lot of the good ones, like pile drivers and shit. I think they can do them again now. There was a period where they stopped allowing pile drivers, but then you got AEW, which are doing pile drivers off fucking ladders and tables and fucking onto tables and shit. It's just fucking stupid.
Regards to them pulling stuff off Steam, yeah, it's probably more on the licensing side, but they've kind of just done it. There's no pre-warning. There's no saying, don't buy this game. You can only buy this game or play this game up to a certain point.
Yeah.
They just took the stuff off. And Ubisoft got dragged across the coals for this. And, they kind of said, no, if you own the game, you can still play it, you just can't buy it.
Yeah.
Rebuy it, because we have to take it down for whatever they've got their reasons. But yeah, 2K we're just taking everything down but this and this. and no one bats an eyelid. No one says a
Seems to
thing.
be all their sports games.
I'm assuming you can still play the game if you previously purchased it.
Yeah, you just can't buy it anymore.
Yeah. So I guess the issue with the Assassin's Creed thing, Christ, we're going back to Assassin's Creed, fucking hell, was the fact that
the milking Batman.
Yeah, true. I mean, I don't know about that, man. But obviously the issue with that was the language that they used indicated that even if you purchased the game, you wouldn't be able to play it. So, and I think wrestling games are kind of just like sports games. More likely than not, if you're buying wrestling games, you've probably purchased the most recent one. Who's going back and playing WWE from 2018 when the one from 2022 is out?
Easy cheevies.
But as long as you can still play the game if you purchased it, I think obviously there's it's not too bad. Microsoft has it with Forza. The Forza games are delisted.
I was actually thinking about that earlier playing
release generally.
I was thinking about that earlier playing Hot Wheels because I never 1K'd Forza Horizon 2 and I thought, I could go back and work on that. But I only had the physical copy of it. I didn't have the digital, so now I can't do that because they've delisted it off the fucking store, haven't they? So I have to buy the physical copy.
You can still install it if you're on the disc.
Yeah, but you can't play it online. You can't
I think.
buy the digital
the game
version.
works, you just can't buy it.
But you can't get the digital version is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you got the disc.
If I don't own the disc. I don't want to buy it again.
No, if
you could buy the disc though.
Yeah, I don't want to buy the disc. I want digital. This is
a
first world problem. Let me have it.
I mean, there's the issue. But then it's a case of like it was 4 years to delist that game. So if you didn't buy it in the 4 years, it was announced. Were you that interested? So, but licensing has this issue, and I wonder if licensing is going to change or has changed because with things like Game Pass, are they just going to delist games? And then it leaves the subscription service in the future because at that point you don't own it.
Yeah. That's what everyone's fear was, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think they had this issue, and to be fair, they worked around it with Forza 7. I think it might have been where they delisted the game, but if you've purchased the DLC, obviously. You've bought something that you can no longer access because it's no longer in Game Pass. So I think they basically just gifted people Forza 7 before the game was delisted. So obviously that was a good gesture and the right thing to do naturally. But I imagine kind of the licensing agreements kind of have to evolve a little bit, or they're going to have these things in place to cater for those situations. Because like you read, has played Hot Wheels DLC, so I purchased that. So in 3 or 4 years' time, is Horizon 5 going to be delisted?
Yeah.
And I'm going to purchase the DLC, but no longer have access to the game because obviously I'm playing it through the subscription. So
they'll do what they did before: buy a tiny bit of DLC or buy the game. They sold it for £1 or £2 in the end, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I brought the same thing up about Fortnite. The amount of licenses they must have for all the different characters and stuff. They're going to reach a stage soon where surely some of those are starting to run out. Those agreements. What happens if they don't renew them? Street Fighter characters and stuff. Will they take them off people and refund a certain amount of V-Bucks, or will you have them but they just won't appear in the store again? It's
yeah.
You wouldn't get a refund, would you? Because it's in anything now, in all terms and conditions for anything you buy, any games, any subscription services, it says we have the right to take it anytime, and you lose access to it, and you wouldn't get a refund. That's the problem. Even if you have a physical game, because I know there's always the age-old argument between physical and digital, saying physical, you've got the physical game, and digital, you only have a license. But it is the same with physical, because you can own that physical game, put it in, but if everything's turned off and they pulled it, the game ain't going to work anymore.
Yeah.
You're
still not going to be able to play it. You're going to have a pretty much paperweight. And that to me, if that's the case and the issue, I could just go and buy a DVD case or whatever, or get a load of them and print off a picture of it and stick it in that. It's the same thing. It's whether it's physical or digital. We're in an age now where everything's licensed. Nobody, has everything forever. Even though we buy a game at £70, or through a subscription service, buying a game outright, you're only leasing that to the point where the owner of the property decides or whatever, licenses expire and say that's it, it's done with and it's gone.
Yeah.
It's just that is the world we live in, and
Yeah.
Whether it's physical or digital, it's the same thing. You've only got it for a certain amount of time, and that's it. But I don't know what you guys like, but generally, once I've kind of done a game, I'm done with it. Move on to the next one.
Once I've got all the achievements, the game's pretty much dead to me until I get DLC for it.
It's only very now and again I want to go back and play some, but it's not to play some because I've got to want to recomplete it. It's just I just want to have a quick bash on it, and then to be honest, then pretty much I'm done with it. It's more and more now is we consume the content, and once we're done with it, we move on. Yeah. Same with a lot of films, TV shows these days. I'd probably, if they did like a survey, I bet you would see the percentage of people watching something and moving on don't go back to an older film they've already seen. And I think it's quite a lot the same with games.
Oh, I don't know about that one, BMG, mate. I don't know about that, because
if you're our age, I'll rephrase it. If you're like us, I would go back and watch Indiana Jones repeatedly because I love Indiana Jones.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't, because it's a load of shite. But
it's okay to be wrong, Scott. It's okay to be wrong. All right then. If I was to go back and watch Peppa Pig, I'll get more on your wavelength.
That's more like it, mate.
I do actually like that. SpongeBob and all that. Awesome. But yeah, it's like we would go back and watch stuff, and we probably would. But it's like all my kids, teenagers, none of them would go back and watch something they've already seen because they'll just say, "I've already seen it."
I'll tell you what, I've gone back and watched Only Fools and Horses so many times.
Hands down,
never gets old. Never gets old.
Every Sunday.
This series like Friends is obviously a pretty big example.
I've seen that
kind of the rights to that, because people will just rewatch it time after time. I mean, I'm not like that actually. Once I've seen something, I very rarely rewatch it.
I must have watched Friends a good 10 times from start to finish. It's one of those shows that I always go back to. Red Dwarf's another one, what my picture said. It's one of those shows that I always go back to.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Spaced. Those two I just go back to all the time. I can just check them on Parks and Rec.
I'm on season 3 of Only Sunny in Philadelphia.
It's so good.
I've never seen it.
It's hilarious. I only just recently discovered it on Netflix, and it is so hilarious.
Is that the one with Neil Patrick Harrison?
No. It's got Danny DeVito in.
Oh, okay.
Rob McElhenney, the guy who just bought Wrexham FC.
I just want to mention, because we talk about digital games and stuff, if you are planning a holiday to Argentina via ENEBA Airways, they currently have the new Saints Row Platinum Edition on there for £50.11, which is £4 cheaper than what the standard edition is here in the UK. Absolutely mental.
Is that edition 90 quid over here as well?
£94. The Platinum Edition is over here. It's currently 50 quid in Argentina.
Holy shit.
So I'll be getting that one. Yeah, we should probably start winding down now, shouldn't we?
Milking Batman.
We should probably start milking Batman.
That is something everyone's going to take away from this episode is milking Batman.
So there is
Well, if you guys name your podcasts, but there's a title for you right there, mate.
Milking Batman. So there is a bit of news regarding the XBL UK show. Here in the UK, we've just started going into the summer holidays, and this is generally a slow news time part of the year anyway. So the guys here have decided that we're going to take August off. We're not going to be doing the UK show on a Tuesday throughout August. You are still going to be able to catch our live streams and Ash's review videos and all the other content that you would expect to see throughout the week. But we just won't be doing this show here until we return in September. We're just having a little bit of a break. When we come back, there's going to be a new look. There's going to be new overlay. We're going to be using Streamlabs instead of OBS because I'm fucking done with OBS at this point. I want to kill it with fire and flush it down the toilet. And we are also proud to announce that we have a new permanent panel member in BMG. BMG is now going to be a regular on the show. congratulations to him. It's always been awesome having him on. He clicks with us really well. So, BMG is going to be sticking around for a while.
And he was cheap.
And he's cheap.
Yeah. All kinds of Fosters. He's anyone's.
Yeah.
That's it.
So,
cheap Northern Whore.
That is basically the gist of the XBL news. But yeah, there is going to be like a 4 to 5 week period where there isn't going to be this show. But we are coming back in September for a new season, whole new look. BMG is a permanent panel member. But yeah, there will still be content and stuff, so don't worry too much. So that's that out of the way. Before we go, Scott, why don't you let everybody know where we can find you in your socials and stuff and the shows you're on and stuff. So have the next few minutes just to tell people where they can find you and stuff.
A few minutes. Christ,
Yeah.
I'll struggle to fill a couple of minutes, mate. I'll keep it briefer, but
serenade us with a
ballad. No, we won't be doing anything like that, I'm afraid, unless you want your numbers to drop. No, I appreciate you having me on those. It's been a lot of fun. Obviously, it was nice to do some podcasts with BMG again. It's been a while, and obviously great to podcast with both you guys for the first time. So genuinely, really appreciate you having me on the show.
Oh, no worries. Thanks for coming on.
No, you're very much welcome. Obviously, be more than happy to come on again when you guys return in September, if you want me on. That is obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
If you want to get me on Twitter, it's at SX2Gaming, and you can find me over at Green Pass Gaming. We podcast generally either a Thursday or Sunday each week. Thursday evenings or Sunday mornings or Sunday evenings, just depending on what the schedule's like. So if you haven't seen us, please check us out. And yeah, once again, appreciate you throwing the invite this way, mate.
Hey, no worries. BMG, where can we find you?
Yeah,
Here
good.
now, I suppose.
Thanks for being on, Scott. It was awesome it's been a while since we've been on a show together, so it's great to be back on live with you. Thank you for coming on. Thanks again for having me. You can find me at Boldman Gamer on Twitter, Boldman Gamer on Xbox, and Boldman Gamer 86 on PlayStation. If there is any Destiny players out there, probably far and few between on here. If you hit me up, I would happily give you an invite to our clan and our future Discord that's coming along. But other than that, you'll also find me here in September on the XBL UK podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you for making me a permanent member. I'm very
you're more than welcome. More than welcome.
To be on. Thank you very much, and hopefully I can bring some joy and smiles to loads of people, and obviously Fosters.
You can catch BMG here in September milking Batman. You can catch me and TheGinna on and around the XBL YouTube and Twitter. Ginny, you streaming this week?
I may live stream in the morning or pre-record. I'm doing that Royale with cheese for Cursed tomorrow.
Cool.
So yeah, and I'll probably be on to a few mornings. You'll probably find me in Roblox trying to shill some t-shirts, you know.
And oh mate, you need to remove that ASAP. I'm not happy. Not happy at all. You sold one.
Top seller.
You can catch me Thursday on the YouTube channel. I'll be streaming something. I don't know what it'll be yet. I'm trying to do less focused streams and more just shoot the shit and have a laugh kind of streams. So I'll be streaming something on Thursday. When I know what it'll be, I'll ping it up on Twitter and stuff. But for now, that has been the Xbox Live Party Podcast. I've been your host, Redders TV, and we will catch you when we return in September. All the best. Happy gaming. See you in the next one.